Here it is in all of its 1080p glory, and big ups to the user who did in fact upload this. I think the guy's name is Resonance. I got everything all kind of set up, and I got my keyboard here so we can be doing all of the little goofy things on the fly here. But yes, he uploaded all of it in 1080p. I scrolled through it a little bit. I have no idea what we're going to be hearing. I know it's going to be lies. I know it's going to be a bunch of fantastical questions and a whole lot of slipping any sort of accountability here from Amber specifically. And yes, gotta hold NBC accountable for this shit, okay? Because A, they made the interview hard to find, okay, outside of their stupid Dateline broadcast, which, if you guys took the chance to come over here and listen to some asshole make some crude jokes over the top of this interview and stop and rewind and play through it all again, I thank you very much. I don't know why you would when you had your litany of other choices of much more high-profile channels that are out there that have been covering this stuff, like Popcorn Planet, and the motherfucker's grown immensely through covering this, and every single little thing that comes out about this case, he's on it like white on rice. Or you have a bunch of other lawyers and media people were covering it at the time, but none of them are gonna make very many funny, like using your box as a fucking impromptu wine cooler jokes. Okay, got that one out of the way to begin with, but I'm sure we're gonna be coming back to something as vulgar. So the interview itself is about 40-ish minutes long. I just bumped it ahead to 127 because now we're going to get into the interview proper. They had their little setup gimmicks at the beginning, okay, and they had Lester Holt do the big fucking drop at the beginning to set it all up, and I didn't find that all that entertaining and shit. I just want to get down to the brass tacks here. I want to see where this is going to start, where it's going to go. We're going to be pointing out all of the nonsense that we find, okay? Try to correct the record, because God knows Savannah Guthrie isn't, even though it looked like in some of those teasers, and we've only seen, what, like 15, maybe 20 minutes? I know the Peacock had a fucking little teaser and stuff that was about, I think they said it was about 20 minutes or something. Didn't want to watch this. I was waiting for this right here. So without further ado, why not take a look at what Miss Amber Heard is going to be up to.
You're here. Some people might ask, why?
Good question. Why is an excellent question. Well, because she's a certifiable narcissist and she just wants the attention of Johnny Depp. You and I both fucking know this. Come on now.
Are you brave? Are you reckless? Are you vindictive?
She's all of those things.
Why did you want to do an interview?
The one thing I can tell you is, one thing I'm not is vindictive.
Lie. What did that take? A literal 20 seconds. The first fucking question that she's asked. I'm not vindictive. Yes, you are. Of course you're fucking vindictive. Why did you... Okay, you filed for the domestic violence restraining order to begin with, okay? And because Johnny wasn't actually, like, hitting you or sexually abusing you or anything like that. He might have been. Your evidence that's out there doesn't really correlate with reality, so you can't really prove it or anything like that. And if you weren't vindictive, you wouldn't have wrote the fucking defamatory op-ed in the Washington Post, okay? Don't want to besmirch the good name of the Washington Times, of course, but the Washington Post op-ed was specifically vindictive. It was time to correlate with your biggest movie role where you played a fish, but, well, I guess art imitates life now, doesn't it? So, no, I'm not vindictive. No, of course not. But then let me just go ahead and continue to bury any remaining credibility I have with the rest of this interview. We're 20 seconds in. This is going to be great.
There's no part of me that sees any, this would be a really lousy way to get vengeance.
God, she doesn't even believe half of the shit that she's saying. Like, she's even laughing at herself. Christ on ice.
What do you hope to get across here? You've had everything said about you. What do you wish people knew?
Ooh, that was a horrific fucking cut, but I don't know, maybe they had some playful banter back and forth, but what Honestly, okay, if you're Amber Heard's, I'm sure she's going to have some sort of not quite answering the question remark to all this stuff. But, okay, what was the big hope that you were supposed to get out of this interview? You thought that maybe you'd get like a softball interview, you'd be able to continue to spin all of the different lies that you were telling up on the stand. Okay, I have all of this evidence and Johnny just won't leave me alone. So now you go on national television, one of the big news magazine shows, okay, Dateline. This isn't, like, even though just give it a couple of months and she'll be on fucking Jim's podcast or whatever fucking nonsense that'll give her a platform. But as of right now, this is high profile shit about how you're over Johnny Depp, but you still love him and you just want to be a mom. But you also wouldn't do this live. It all had to be edited after the fact for apparently seemingly obvious reasons, because maybe she meandered onto something else, or maybe she continued to defame Johnny Depp and that needed to get cut out because that's just so goddamn defamatory that not only Amber could be liable, but Savannah and NBC. So I don't really fucking know. She's crazy, but let her say what she wants to accomplish with this interview. Boy howdy.
Savannah, as silly as it is to say this out loud, my goal, the only thing I can hope for at this point, is just want people to see me as a human being.
Well, it's incredibly douchey and pretentious, but it's not really going to accomplish what you're hoping to. Where are they filming this anyways? Because that looks like a pretty nice apartment somewhere, but still, I just want people to see me as a human being. No, you got 2 legs, you got 2 arms, okay? Nobody's disputing your humanity. We just think you act like a monster. We don't actually think you're a monster in the way that you think Johnny is, but whatever.
Tonight, we talk with Amber Heard, the woman at the center of one of the most sensational media spectacles in recent memory.
That was all self-inflicted, by the way. So if you were watching some of the other snippet reviews that I was doing from this interview itself, I cut out all of this nonsense, but I'll just leave it in because we're going to do full fucking context, and hopefully we can bury this subject for a little while and that Amber doesn't go back on the media trail after this, even though both you and I know that that's exactly what she's going to do. So with full context in mind, let's let her roll. We're, a minute into this. Oh boy.
This is a case about the impact of Amber Heard's words on Johnny Depp.
For 6 weeks, millions of viewers around the world were
Okay, it took 4 producers to get through this 4-camera shoot interview. All right, then. How much wasted money was put on this fucking publicity stunt?
Glued to their screens, hanging on every moment of this courtroom slugfest between Hollywood stars.
The next move was just a bang, and she clocked me in the jaw.
It just hit me over and over and over again.
Yeah, did he? I got this picture here that shows a nice makeup wheel, and I don't know, Johnny's he's passed out once again with ice cream in his hand and his other hand in his pocket. But trust me, that's just before he was gonna wake up and beat me.
And I thought, this is how I die.
Yeah, but did you though? Did you even have any injuries after that? Or did you go to, because this is what, the Tokyo incident, or is this just before the Don Rickles roast where you look very hot because you're far younger and about 20 pounds lighter and still. But anyways, this horrific tale when you got beat about the head and you were choked out and all that stuff. Still, no tears detected.
The trial made public a volatile marriage, with private moments caught on tape.
Yes, volatile moments like Johnny beating up a cabinet after he got word that his business managers had squandered $650 million of his wealth. I think you'd be pissed off too. But then you'd also be pissed off when you found out that your wife was antagonizing you by playing said video, or rather recording said incident, and also egging it on with a very cunty tone. This might be the first time that I played this video on the channel or had it in any form or fashion like this, so it'll be interesting to see how much they play, because you can obviously hear her egg Johnny on.
I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
For some people,
Why didn't you let the rest of that play? Why didn't you let both of those clips play? Like, for fuck's sakes, okay? He gets, you could misconstrue that as being very angry towards Amber, you'd really have to do some mental gymnastics. But then when she's describing, babe, I didn't punch you or I hit you, she gets in a whole lot more detail there. Maybe they're saving it. This is, network mass media after all, so whatever.
They just were frankly disgusted by the whole thing and don't have much sympathy for either one of you. Can you understand that?
Absolutely.
I've got to look in my reflection every morning, so yeah, I can totally understand that.
I can understand that. I would not blame the average person for looking at this and how it's been covered and not think that it is Hollywood brats at their worst. But what people don't understand is it's actually so much bigger than that.
Okay, this is one of the clips that was released, okay, and I can't believe this is where it starts because she's already trying to poison the well. It's like, listen, why would these plebs have any interest in what a bunch of, Hollywood bigwigs do, okay, with their life? Oh my God, their problems are just so much different and they're unrelatable to you dirty commoners that are out there. No. Maybe that was one of the producers' job to just try to chop everything up maybe a little bit more appropriately. But even still, okay, she did. Okay, I'm going to run that back, okay, just a little bit, because she said sexually, and it doesn't make any sense there. Maybe she misspoke, and maybe you should have came back a couple of days later for a little ADR work or something like that.
Don't understand is it's actually so much bigger than that. This is not only about our First Amendment right to speak.
But here's the thing about the First Amendment. The First Amendment protects free speech.
Doesn't protect lying cunts.
It doesn't protect lies that amount to defamation. And that was the issue in the case.
Yes, exactly. Free speech does not protect you if you go into a crowded theater and you scream fire.
Yes, it does if your play requires you to yell fire or if there's an actual fire in there. It doesn't, once again, it doesn't protect you from telling lies, which is exactly what that would be. And you might be able to know that because you're so well read. If you've seen any of her Instagram posts, okay, oh my God, I love to pose with books too on just some random page just held out in front of you. The spine doesn't look like it's ever been cracked before. You and LeBron James have that same an inkling, okay, in common. It's very funny when you have these self-professed learned individuals just do these douchey fucking things. It's hilarious. And again, I'm not surprised those two have that thing specifically in common. And if she needs to turn a couple of $1 million, maybe, you know what, hey, they could have some further, much more personal interactions.
We get the concept of free speech from the Greeks, but my understanding of what that means is
okay, so that wasn't edited. That was just literally something that maybe she heard some smarter people talk about before. Our concept of free speech comes from the Greeks. Which Greek philosopher are you talking about? There's thousands of them, by the way. Well, not quite 1,000, but, hey, Cicero, Plato, Socrates, like what? Take your pick. Any one of them? Okay, Epictetus. What are we doing here? The Stoics, the more conniving type? She doesn't know. She just heard it from somebody, so whatever.
It's not just the freedom to speak. It's a freedom to speak truth to power.
That's some neo-Marxist horseshit right there. Oh, it doesn't matter if it is true. If there's the corrupt individual, you have an obligation to take him down. Ugh, and get fucked. See how well that worked out for you. Oh, wait, it cost you $8.35 million. You hate to see it.
But truth is the word.
Yes.
And that was the issue.
And that's all I spoke.
Oh my God, I forget how annoying television is, but yeah, no, now they're going into a reframing set. So all of these snippets that we've seen before, like none of this shit is really new, okay? I think the first question, it's like, are you vindictive? No, I'm not. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. So let me just go ahead and continue on for 40 minutes and tell you how not vindictive I am about this, and then continue to go on your fucking media campaign, your press tour after all of this. Okay, whatever. Totally believe you, by the way. But yes, she's going to go down to her dying day believing that she was the one who was always telling the truth. I only told the truth up there. Then why did nobody believe you? Because my truth is far too spicy for other people to relate to. Okay.
So how did it all come to this?
See you down the road.
I had to go up against such a charming individual who makes a personal connection, although it's just a, small connection with people, okay? He looks people in the eyes. You could see that with the bailiff that was there. We'll just let it play here for a second. And even still, he's talking to the cameraman who he sees every day, and then they started to show just after, I think they came back from the break, okay? Both Johnny and Amber coming to the courthouse, okay, and this is when it began. Amber was definitely paying attention to social media because a narcissist can't avoid anything that's said about them literally anywhere, okay? Johnny was showing up, shaking both of the bailiff's hands, okay? Everybody who was out there, he was shaking their hand, saying, good morning, how are you doing, making a personal connection, as Amber was just looking down, okay, just wouldn't even say anything to anybody, holding open the doors for her. But then a day later, a couple days later, after it started to make the rounds of both of the entrances, okay, when Johnny would show up and then the screaming fans were in the background and he'd do the old chest bump, and he'd throw the fist up and thank you everyone, and then yes, once again greet everybody, and then go into the courthouse. And Amber, you just, oh my god, all I heard was just death threats and boos and the signs that said burn the witch. Literally nobody gave a fuck. It was just kind of a dull, maybe you'd hear a couple of boos or something like that, but then yeah, she'd scurry into the courthouse until, yes, those clips started to make the round, and then she started to try to make some sort of human interaction, like, hi, yes, oh, but I'm still a timid woman. It's like, oh, just fucking, you're so phony.
Amber Laura Heard grew up outside Austin, Texas, with big dreams of
Damn, why don't she look like that now? That's far better. Still smoking at that time, huh? I don't like drugs or anything like that, right, Amber? Okay.
Hollywood stardom. After moving to Los Angeles at the age of 17, she booked a string of TV and movie roles.
I went on like 10 interviews a day, which is just like not possible or anything like that. Are you going to talk about the time when she was a stripper or anything like that? No, I wouldn't want to do that, right?
In 2009, she got a call that would change her life. It was from superstar Johnny Depp,
Here.
who wanted her to co-star with him in a film called The Rum Diary.
No, Johnny, no! If only we had a time machine. Wait a minute, that was the passionate kiss? Oh, okay, I guess it's like, and that's the kiss that changed everything for everyone. Or maybe it was like, okay, here's a weird movie reference. Do you guys, oh God, I hate those movies, especially those types of comedies, but you remember Zack and Miri Make a Porno? Okay, and when Zack and Miri are supposed to be shooting the scene, they can't really use it because they're just like actually fucking like two people who love each other, and it's not really as, dramatic as porn is. That was, maybe they had a different scene of one of those kisses that was there, because that just seemed like a Hollywood kiss. Okay, there was nothing, electrifying about it, but hey, maybe this is one of those unrelatable things between the hoity-toity Hollywood elites and just us commoners who are out there. I don't know, maybe.
He was 46. She was half his age.
Nice. Oh yeah, by the way, that is a pimple, and that is some makeup around it, because I don't know what kind of bruise has a consistent coloration all the way through it. I have no idea. There's no yellowing around the edges. Okay, there's no like obscure kind of trailing off of purpling or anything like that. It's makeup, motherfucker.
Abuse. Months later, Amber dropped the restraining order and they divorced. And it seemed like the Depp-Heard saga might end there.
What?
In 2018...
Oh, is that what that movie looks like? It looks like a fucking soap opera. That's terrible. Ugh. But it made $1 billion. It's like the most popular movie ever. Ugh.
She landed her biggest role yet in Aquaman. That same year, as the Me Too movement was in full swing, she wrote this now infamous op-ed for the Washington Post. It included a key line: I became a public figure representing domestic abuse.
You've said many times you just wanted to go on with your life. When you wrote the op-ed, it raised all of this again. Why did you do that if you wanted to just go on?
Good question, and I don't think that was ever asked at trial, to be completely honest. So I guess that's some of those lawyerly instincts that are kicking in for Savannah, because apparently she's run some DV cases or some shit like that. But the way that she's asking these questions, you know that she's kind of holding some stuff back, but she is working for NBC, and I don't know, they're part of the old press junket for Amber, because obviously, okay, if you were just going to do an interview with her, okay, if she just wanted to have her continuation of 15 Minutes of Fame, it would have been live, you would have been asking harder questions than that, but no, you gave her an entire, a dedicated evening on Dateline, okay, a 40-minute long spread. And the way that the music underneath this, I don't know if you guys are paying attention to that too, but it's awfully sympathetic when it comes to the sob story. That could change as it goes along here, because we're only 5 minutes into it. Oh boy, this is going to be fun and long, but whatever. Yeah, no, exactly. I just wanted to move along. This has been so hard for me. I just wanted to lie and get away with it. What the fuck is Johnny doing fighting back? I hate this about him. I think we heard this answer, but let's get a refresher.
And put this past you.
Because the op-ed wasn't about my relationship with Johnny.
I think the ACLU and prior drafts would disagree with that, just saying.
But it alluded to him. It was unmistakable.
You know, what the op-ed was about was,
Let me search for a proper answer on that one, because again, yes, Johnny Depp was mentioned by name in prior drafts of that op-ed. They were removed for, well, obvious defamatory reasons, but still, you made allusions in the op-ed to a relationship you had. I stood up for domestic violence when I got a restraining order 2 years ago from a previous relationship that I was in, and when I came out and nobody supported me at the time, and they just went and rallied around this fictitious individual I was in a long-term relationship before then. Who else could it have possibly have been about, and whose life or whose livelihood was directly taken down because of the writing of that? It is, like Savannah said, and like everybody knows, unmistakably Johnny Depp, you lying whore. But again, I have the free speech right. I have the First Amendment like all other Americans. Sure thing.
You know, me loaning my voice to a bigger cultural conversation that we were having at the time. It was about reforms, legislative reforms, renewing the Violence Against Women Act.
Why couldn't you do that without making up your fantastical claims, though? You're I guess, you're going to be in it's a DC. It's not really a Marvel or anything significant or good. You're a celebrity of some form or fashion. You can lend credibility to that without having to be a part of it. Oh, wait, but you're also, on top of being an actress and a celebrity of some ilk, a total narcissist, so it has to be all about you. Okay, I get it.
Did you worry? Gosh, I'd love to be a person weighing in on these cultural issues, but that's going to stir this all up again.
You know, that's a great question, and one that I wish was considered more seriously, because it's important.
When you wrote
Okay, I was just gonna mention how much better the editing is. It actually seems like it flows, but then there was just a hard cut right there because she didn't specifically answer the question. Well, that's a good question to really consider, but yeah, I don't know why nobody did. But again, yeah, you could have just joined in with Me Too and your advocacy, because again, just trolling through any of her social media posts, she's an activist first, and then somewhere along the line, she's an actress, I guess. So let's see where we go after this hard cut, because she didn't have an answer for that, and I guess we're just moving right along.
this op-ed, it was the height of Me Too. Legions of powerful men being canceled, losing their jobs. Did you want that to happen to Johnny Depp?
We already know what the answer to this is. Oh no, I didn't want anything to happen to Johnny Depp. He's such a pure, innocent guy until I need him to be the monster that I claim him to be. But yeah, again, and if you take a look throughout the entirety of Me Too, which is still going on right now, in fact, they're trying to Me Too Vince McMahon. We'll get to that, okay, in a future video. But even still, how many of those allegations actually bore out with any truth? Like, okay, the Weinsteins in are on trial right now. Cosby ended up getting off, not like that, but how many more of those claims were actually true? A lot of people were punished, a lot of people were taken out, even from beyond the grave, because people started to, fucking Me Too Wilt Chamberlain? Yeah, he wasn't exactly obscuring the fact that he bedded 10,000 women. The only one that's just kind of weird who hasn't gotten Me Too'd, which I would have imagined he would have given his political leanings, is Gene Simmons from Kiss, but I guess he has all the evidence. He's got boxes full of Polaroids of the, 6,400 women? I don't, again, this is all insane, okay? And I do a lot of coverage of Me Too cases because I just find them absolutely egregious because it's the due process. Like, what's that? Throw it out the window. We gotta believe all women, which has just been kind of the societal norm for the better part of 100 years, okay? Moving into the 120, 130 years at this point, okay? Where a simple accusation of a crying woman can lead to a man to be in jail for the rest of his life, because I know that this is probably the anomaly, but still, it's worth mentioning, okay? How many times have you heard a guy getting released from jail after doing a decade plus in there because the woman just comes out and says, I just made it up and lied, and then the guy gives a press conference where it's like, well, I'm just happy to be free. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. You're just happy to have given up years and years of your freedom on the back of a lie, off of an emotional whim, because before there was hashtags, there was definitely Me Too and Believe All Women. It's nonsense. Investigate all crimes. Just stop believing all victims, because that makes a heavy implication from the offset. But I forgot where we are, but needed to go on a little tangent there. I think it's something about Me Too.
Of course not. It wasn't about him.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, the op-ed wasn't about Johnny Depp. I think a jury would disagree with you.
Johnny Depp disagreed and filed a $50 million defamation lawsuit against her.
And then Amber Heard filed for $100 million on the basis of, well, it's more than what Johnny's asking for.
Good morning.
She countersued.
That was a day after. You can tell, okay, I described it. I hope that they have at least a follow-up on that, but you can tell the lack of warmth. We'll just go ahead and we'll play that back here real quick, because I think it's pretty important to note.
Good morning.
It's like,
She
good morning.
countersued.
Good morning. That's just a cunty tone that she's putting on there. It's like, oh, God, I gotta talk to the commoners again. Ugh. Oh, yeah, she's just not a likable person.
All of which led to the recent showdown in court.
I don't have to remind you that you've been found liable for defamation
F's in the chat.
against Johnny Depp. Having been found liable, are you nervous, as we are here today, about what you can say now?
She must have just been thinking of an answer there, because it's terrible, terrible editing once again. Looks like much of this stuff hasn't really been unchanged.
Of course. I took for granted what I assumed was my right to speak. Not just about what I lived through, but what I knew.
Do you feel
Questioning her right to speech while she has a mainstream interview going on right now. Again, just understand, you just can't lie. Lying is not good. Whatever.
like you could be sued again by him for defamation?
Please, I hope so, Johnny. Please pay attention to me. That's all I want. He won't even look at me. Why won't he look at me? I just need him to look at me one more time.
I'm terrified, which is what I guess a defamation lawsuit is meant to do.
No, it's meant to hold you accountable, okay? It's not meant to silence you. It's meant to make sure that you don't make the same mistake again, which you're continuing to do because you still love Johnny and you still need to have him pay attention to you.
It's meant to take your voice.
When we come back.
Violence.
Indicated physical violence.
I never had to instigate it. I responded to it. As I testified to, if it meant the difference, but would do it.
People lined the streets waiting for a glimpse of them, these two movie actors. Their cars pulling up not to a red carpet, but to a Virginia courthouse.
What did you see out the window of that car?
Every single day, I passed city blocks lined with people holding signs saying,
Okay, now we actually got a picture of one of the signs that are out there. She's gonna go on to say burn the witch, but heard you were a liar, Amber. Clever play on words. But other than that, I don't know, nothing terribly bad about that. I'm sure there were probably, I don't know, much worse examples than that. But this is an upstanding network after all. Ugh.
Things that I couldn't repeat on
Somebody's a shitlord.
television. And they had to establish barricades to protect me so I could drive into a protected entrance.
Where were those barricades? I was paying attention and all that stuff, but I don't remember seeing any barricades. There was a gate on the courthouse, but yeah, no barricades. What about the one barricade? Apparently, okay, let's take your interpretation of the facts or reality in this instance. But what about the one fan who you might have paid or had stand up there? Okay, or I could believe that there is some simp that's out there who brought you a plant through the window. Okay, again, yeah, just had to go around those barricades. There was blocks and blocks of people. Okay, cool, whatever.
Of the courthouse. Every single day, that's how I walked in the court.
No, you walked in virtual silence, okay, with your head down. We've seen a clip. Oh my God, she continues to stop lying. You have a First Amendment right, but you don't have the First Amendment to lie, you weirdo.
There were more people waiting for her inside, packing the courtroom and watching from home.
Oh, well, they all just, any time that I'd make a statement, they would just jeer and throw tomatoes at me. You remember, you were watching.
Amber's lawyers had fought to keep TV cameras out.
I wonder why.
But lost.
I didn't want this to be a thing. I didn't want it to be a trial. I didn't want
I just wanted to lie and get away with it.
it to be a part of the public record. But when someone sues you, you don't really have a choice.
Yeah, no, actually, that's true, but you have a choice not to countersue, so yeah, that as well.
With the burden of proof on him, Johnny Depp made his case first. To prove defamation, his lawyers needed to show that Amber's claims of abuse were false and had hurt his career.
Which they did, apparently. Good enough, okay. But again, yeah, he filed the suit first. The burden of proof is on him. And guess what? Thanks to the jury interview that Good Morning America published, we figured out that yes, in fact, it only came down to two people's testimony, and Amber wasn't believable. It didn't matter if you would have went first, and then your rebuttal, and then Johnny was allowed to tell his side of the story. They just didn't believe you because you were a fucking unbelievable liar. Imagine that. It had nothing to do with the order that they testified in. Even though she's going to go on to say, oh, they had to listen to 3 weeks about how so terrible I was. Thanks to that juror coming out. Oh my God. It's so nice, the timing on that. It just undercuts all of this nonsense. You want more content or more context on that? When was that? Thursday? I think it was Thursday that we went through that. Yeah, it would have been Thursday. It'll be on one of the goofy little iCards if you're watching it over here.
Mr. Depp, have you ever physically assaulted Miss Heard?
Never.
Have you ever sexually assaulted Miss Heard?
Never. Certainly not.
But I do have other uses for your throat that do not involve... Anyways.
What have you lost as a result of Miss Heard making these allegations against you?
A good punching bag.
Nothing less than everything.
Depp said there was an abuser in the courtroom, but it wasn't him. It was Amber.
Actually, that was Camille Vasquez who made that point, and it was a very good point to make. It was very cutting. Why didn't she look like that more throughout the trial instead of like a fucking Ava Braun?
She has a need for conflict. She has a need for violence.
She has a need for attention.
It erupts out of nowhere.
Depp described a particularly violent fight they had when he was filming in Australia. He said Amber threw a vodka bottle at him.
Where's the interview part of this? I'm starting to miss out on all the questions that they were asking, okay? Because it just seems like a secondhand narration on all this stuff. Well, whatever.
And it made contact and shattered everywhere.
It's funny, right? Because he, even if you don't believe his story, he at least has a story that correlates with the very real injury with his finger. All Amber has is either It was cut off when I think he beat a phone into a wall next to a bar, which had another phone, but that one was an antique phone, which didn't fit with the modern aesthetic of the bar. But it was there, but you couldn't see it in any of the pictures because it was, unfortunately for the photographer who took the pictures of this, it was just behind them, okay? And as for the floor, which there were a lot of pictures of, there were just no pieces of that phone that Johnny broke with his hands. And again, those injuries don't really line up because there was no like boxer's fractures as he was punching apparently the receiver into the wall until it turned into smithereens. Well, he was also holding her by the neck, which would have been weird because it was the tip of the right finger, okay? So he was holding her by the neck of the bar. I'm just trying to go through because the pictures that were there, okay? Was he slamming it into the wall behind him like this while holding her down on the bar, or was he going across his arms and going over top? There's a lot of questions that are there, but that was just the most recent account from Amber, as opposed to the consistent story from Johnny, as opposed to what he told, what was it, the doctor, somebody like that, okay? Not like Dr. Kip or anything like that, which he told the actual story to, but, yeah, no, just so nobody caused a fuss. It's like, oh, I cut it off in an accordion door, and it's like, oh, okay, fine, yeah, we'll totally believe that shit. But anyways, yeah, there was actual medical records on Johnny Depp's side, but yeah, I didn't need any medical attention after I was raped with a bottle and beat about the head for 3 days straight. Okay, then.
And then I looked down and realized that the tip of my finger had been severed.
Depp's.
Yeah, that's probably the best point during Johnny's entire direct. Okay, I like other parts, but that's the most compelling and what everybody goes back and watches. But the way that he relives that moment in his mind, you can see on his face that he's reliving every moment of that, and he's conveying it perfectly. And it was a really good example, okay, when he'd look over to just clarify a complex point, or just try to be as illustrative so everybody in the jury could properly understand that, as opposed to Amber Heard. You've seen a clip where she was crying, where she was just looking over for anybody to give approval, which, according to the juror during his interview, said that was really unnerving. I got to agree on that.
Attorneys showed the jury photos of injuries they said Amber had inflicted on Depp and asked members of his security staff to tell the jury what they'd seen.
Remember, none of this stuff matters. Oh, that's Travis McGivern. I was going to say the other guy, but again, none of this testimony played for the jury was there, but they didn't take any of this into account. He's hilarious, by the way, because, he testified that, no, Johnny didn't in fact start pissing in the foyer of the Eastern Columbia building. Great line of questioning there.
Heard and saw a closed fist contact Mr. Depp in the left side of his face.
And whose fist was that?
That was Miss Heard's fist. Amber Heard's fist.
The Depp team argued that you were the abuser.
Yes, even though those pictures that you just seen weren't all that great or anything like that. They just, I don't know what they were supposed to show or anything like that. But again, the old fucking missing digit, I think, does it a little bit better than just, I was beat about the head, here's a bruise on my arm. Huh? No, exactly. She was the abuser, okay? She is the one who's taunting on audio recordings, admitting to violence, okay? And furthering everything along, okay? It's just everything plays out in that direction, but let Amber tell us how everything really went down because we're too stupid to understand her.
That you instigated physical violence. Did you?
I never had to instigate it. I responded to it.
The way that she, perfect freeze frame on that one. But anyways, the way that she skirts around this question is amazing. Amazing. The fact that, did you ever instigate violence? Oh, I didn't have to instigate. I was just responding to all of this. Remember, she's constantly the victim, but don't call her the victim until she calls herself a victim later in this. I'm not a likable victim, but I thought you didn't like to be called a victim, and I thought you never called or referred to yourself as a victim. But again, it's really tough when you're trying to keep all your lies in order. Whatever.
When you're living in violence and it becomes normal, as I testified to, you have to adapt you adopt strategies to cope with it. If it meant, as I testified to, if it meant the difference between a broken nose or a sore cheek, I would do it.
What about...
She always goes back to the same stories, okay? And I could be missing this. My memory's a little spotty on this one. Okay, no, I don't know Amber specifically, and she wasn't beating me about the head or anything like that. But I don't remember Johnny ever testifying. I kind of, maybe, okay, that he ever sustained a broken nose, okay, or anything like that. But there was a lot of hitting and slapping and punching, okay, from Amber. So she could have broke his nose or at least caused a severe enough, knock on the tip there that would have elicited some sort of a similar response when it comes to thinking your nose is broken, like Amber tried to adopt somebody's story about, oh, I thought my nose was broken, but then the next day, hey, look at that, it's totally perfect and completely untouched. It felt like it was broken. Okay there, sweetheart.
About the witnesses who said they have seen you instigate physical violence. Did they all come in and lie in court?
I'm, less interested in sitting here, relitigating it with you.
So again, she doesn't answer any of these questions. It's like, okay, so all you did was tell the truth. So everybody else who came in and contradicted your recollection of events, are they lying? Oh, I'm not here to say that they're lying. I'm just here to tell you that my version of the truth is the truth, and you can just go ahead and connect the dots. This is where I've got a dock marks on Savannah. You need to push on that stuff. We know one instance when she actually does, but the fact that she can just leave this stuff open-ended with your sympathetic music underneath really pisses me off.
I am not here to call any of his witnesses any names. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to just kind of talk about it from what it felt like for me as the person who sat there.
There was one more voice Depp's legal team wanted the jury to hear, Amber's. They had audio recordings of the couple talking about how Amber sometimes got physical.
I'm gonna smack my ear again. So it resounds in my cranium. You like that?
I love you.
Huh?
I love you. I'm sorry.
In another recording, Amber...
Damn, I don't remember that, but still. Oh, maybe they played it and I couldn't figure out what it was saying in there, but the little closed caption things helped out quite a bit. Slapping him in the cranium, because you didn't get to see it because my shining little face there is in the corner, so it kind of covered some stuff up. But yeah, it slapped you in the cranium, and then she says, I love you. Crazy. Fucking crazy.
Amber was less apologetic.
I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not
Hey, there's the rest of that.
deck you. I was hitting you.
There are tapes.
Oh man, I like the mocking tone. You should play the rest of that. But again, we're 12 minutes into this, so maybe she'll get around to it.
In which you acknowledge hitting. There are tapes in which you say, I started the fight.
I know much has been made of these audio tapes. And as I testified on the stand, what
Yeah, because they're evidence.
you would hear in those clips are not evidence of what was happening. It was
Yes, it is.
evidence of a negotiation, of how to talk about that.
Why isn't that being played? And again, they're going to go into this, well, you're not a lawyer, and I can't really, I don't know if everything's been put in there. Everything was put in there, okay? It was admitted in full, and then what was played to the court was just the specific amount of time. Your stupid counsel could have objected to that. They could have played the entire thing on redirect, but they didn't because you suck.
With your abuser.
But I am looking at a transcript that says, he says, you start physical fights, and you say, I did start a physical fight.
I did start a physical fight.
Yeah, you did.
But you're just telling me today, I never started a physical fight, and here you are on tape saying you did.
No, Johnny was beating me, and I had to defend myself.
As I testified on the stand about this, is that when your life is at risk, not only will you take the blame for things that you shouldn't take the blame for, but when you're in an abusive dynamic, psychologically, emotionally, and physically.
What? No, not. Oh my God, there's a lot to unpack right there, but we'll just simplify that down to, you didn't leave though. Every time that you're ever caught on an audio recording, all you can do is taunt, mock, heckle, and then threaten Johnny once again, okay? And the only other recordings when you're not on there is a man who's, I don't know, drunk or drugged up and howling along with the motor of an engine. And it's like, it doesn't look good for you, but I was in an abusive relationship. That's nice.
You don't have the luxury of saying, hey, this is black and white, because it's anything but when you're living in it.
I kind of think it is, though. You're an abuser, and he just stood there and took it.
Says he never hit you. Never. Is that a lie?
I don't think spanking enters into this stuff, so maybe.
Yes, it is.
He says
Did you ask for it, though?
he's never struck any woman. His lawyers argued at trial. None of his other prior relationships, not one woman has come forward and said he physically hit them. You were the
No, all he would do is just hit. He got out all of his current, future, and past rage on me specifically. Meanwhile, literally every other relationship, except for Ellen Barkin, we can't discount the couple of times where he threw some fucking dick at that old bag. But no, he threw a bottle in my direction. Oh, it wasn't mine specifically. It was a whole bunch of people. It was in a kitchen, and as much as he threw it, he just kind of tossed it across the kitchen, and maybe it landed towards some people. I don't know. I'm kind of hazy on the situation. I know I was going to come in and testify, but my video deposition is good enough, right? Yeah, no, exactly. Couldn't get your geriatric old ass on a fucking flight over to Fairfax. Oh, we really do hate to see it. But again, Johnny never hit Amber. Let's just fucking say it for what it is.
the only one.
Look what happened to me when I came forward.
You were exposed as a liar. Ding, 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 ding.
Would you?
Oh, they should have just let that air out. Okay, we're gonna play it back because it's too funny.
What happened to me when I came forward?
You got a lot of
Would
money.
you?
Coming up.
Oh God! Oh, douche chills. That's been a minute.
It was a shocking day in court yesterday.
The attention seemed to grow day by day.
The surprises just keep coming in this trial.
But for
God, NBC has a bunch of ugly-looking people.
all the intense curiosity, this was not the first time Amber Heard and Johnny Depp faced off in court.
Oh, if they bring up UK and say that at the same time, I'm gonna fucking kick my chair.
There was another trial.
Shut up! Nope. Different trial, different circumstances, different fucking. Oh, you dumb fucking conflating cunt.
Dealt with the same substantive issues, handled differently by a judge instead of a jury.
That doesn't help you out any, stupid, but okay, cool. At least we're getting proper context on this. I don't think we're getting any more like Amber and Savannah, back and forth. There's a lot of helping along with this interview. It's pretty fucking sad, and I'm even cutting out the bumpers, so it's even less time spent on them. Ugh, God.
Johnny Depp sued The Sun, a British tabloid, over an article it published describing him as a wife beater.
Yeah, again, Johnny Depp sued The Sun. Sued The Sun. Where the fuck did that come from? A newspaper in the UK. Except for when Johnny flew you out to the UK. Did you ever live there? Were you ever there? You filmed a really awful movie that gets horrible reviews. London Fields. And then, oh, cool, if we're going to talk about litigation, how about that time you brought a lawsuit against the producers of London Fields for a body double scene? Don't mention how you ended up losing that lawsuit as well, because that would be very embarrassing. But yeah, no, please tell us more how this lawsuit has anything to do with yours. You testified, okay, for a few days. That's nice. And you were allowed to use extraneous evidence to back up your claims. And then at the end of the day, it was decided by a judge who had some very difficult ties that he should have probably explained away, but didn't because reasons.
The case went to trial 2 years ago in the UK. There were no cameras in court. The judge.
And again, if there was, I don't think the outcome would have been any different, but the outrage at the time would have been significantly different.
The judge in that case found that most of Amber Heard's allegations of abuse were substantially true.
Johnny Depp has lost his legal battle with a British tabloid.
We prevailed.
What's this we shit? You weren't fucking involved, stupid.
Overwhelmingly.
The jury in the U.S. trial wasn't allowed to hear about that judgment. And
No, they heard about it, and they heard a lot of testimony behind it, okay, and a lot of depositions from it.
Amber says that by the time she got up to tell her side of the story,
I do.
the court of public opinion here had already turned against her.
Thanks to that jury interview, we know that that is, in fact, false. They didn't give a fuck about any of that stuff. And hey, guess what? They didn't know who you were. But they did know that your dog stepped on a bee.
After 3.5 weeks, I took the stand and saw the courtroom packed full of Captain Jack Sparrow fans.
And Willy Wonka fans, and Mad Hatter fans, and Ichabod Crane fans, and whatever his name in 21 Jump Street was. Maybe there was a couple of Aquaman fans, you never know, or people who remember you when you used to look hot and never back down. Of course, I'm sure that was probably the case. But again, it was the jury. The gallery played nothing into it. There was, what, 2 outbursts? Okay, that crazy bitch who showed up is like, Johnny, this is your baby. That's nice. And then once when they were admonished by the judge, after Rottenborn bitched up and went to the judge, they're like, they're gasping at the gallery. You couldn't hear fucking anything about that. The judge, who's also in the courtroom, didn't even notice that. But Rottenborn sitting, what, a couple of feet away? Oh, I heard somebody in the gallery make a noise. So again, what did that have to do with anything? But again, Amber, oh, everybody, the world is against me. And oh my God, just shut up.
Who were vocal, energized, who had come from all ends of the world.
We've been here all night long.
Yeah, and again, a lot of people were in the gallery. A lot of people were waiting from 9 o'clock in the evening the prior night in order to get into the courtroom to just sit there. And if they rolled the dice on one of those days when it was just Amber Heard playing video depositions, my condolences on your bad decisions, but it doesn't really look like they got, the husbands or anything to get home to.
I took 2 buses, 2 trains, and I had to
What about a plane and an automobile?
walk a half an hour.
And the jury saw all of that.
The stuff that was outside the courtroom? I don't think so, because they drove there by themselves. It was never an issue or anything like that. But again, stop looking at the jury, you weirdo.
During 5 days on the stand, Amber told her version of the toxic relationship.
She was on the oh no, for half days, right? Because the first day of direct testimony was just a half day. Then she had, that was a half day Wednesday. And then she had the full day of direct on Thursday, okay? And then the break after that, which was stupid planning, okay? I guess they didn't think, stop looking at me. Oh my God. Anyways, no, she came and did the direct examination. She was there for, the full day. And then they went on break, okay, with the jury having to sit on the fact that, wow, that bitch broke down like 3 different times and no tears ever rolled down her face. It was the weirdest fucking thing. And then she came back and direct examination was through until the second break. Okay, so that's 4 so far, okay, and still that's a half there. And then the second day of direct cross and rebuttal was only a half again. So realistically, you got 4 full spread over 5. So I guess, whatever, if you're being real technical about it.
She said the physical abuse began when they were first dating and continued throughout their marriage.
Well, that was after the break, once you just figured out that your story wasn't unbelievable enough, that you had to revise it a bit. So yeah, let's not leave out that precious detail.
When I was walking out of the bedroom, slapped me across the face.
Oh, that wasn't even the first instance. So I think that was what she claimed in Tokyo or something like that, where I didn't even know my nose was bleeding. No, the first instance was you guys sitting on a couch side by side. Oh, wait, no, you were sitting on the edge of the couch. Was it like the arm of the couch? Because if you would have got slapped like that, it was apparently, 3 slaps, right? Yeah, because that's exactly how an abuser starts. And then, yes, I just remembered the dirty carpet. And then Johnny realized what he did to me after sniffing his entire jar of cocaine. He broke down and cried in front of me, and that was fucking weird. That's the only part that I actually believe of her. And then I went and sat in my car, and I could see my breath on the windshield in Los Angeles. Like, what the fuck are you doing here? We all know what temperature does, but again, you had 4 producers on this, and you couldn't even get the first instance of abuse. Come on now.
I turned to look at him, and I said, Johnny, you hit me.
Yeah, theoretically, he would know that he did that, but he never did, so I don't know whose story you're adopting here. Talented Mr. Ripley, or whatever.
You just hit me. I testified on the stand. I got hit for a very long time before I knew how to even try to defend myself.
Yeah, you testified that you first started to get abused in 2013, and then after the break, it was 2012. I wish it was, I thought it was later than that. I wish there was more time of no abuse. Ugh.
Amber said the abuse usually happened in private, but told the jury Depp once kicked her on a plane in front of his entourage.
And how many people corroborated that story? Oh, wait, nobody. Oh, but they're all on his payroll, including your friends who were on the plane? Get fucked.
I felt so embarrassed that he could kick me to the ground.
I feel embarrassed because you're not crying and you're breaking down emotionally.
In front of people.
In all, she described at least 12 times when Depp hit her.
Yeah, but I thought there was 16 times that you were physically and sexually abused. Cool.
And he's punching me with a closed fist, punching me.
Where are those injuries, you lying whore?
She said it often happened when he was drunk or on.
Yeah, often when he was drunk, and he was always drunk, and it was the drugs and the marijuana, and, you know, the wacky tobacco that made him so violent. Oh, God, like, I've never touched drink or drugs in my entire life, but I hung out with a lot of potheads throughout my life, and one thing that potheads aren't is violent. So, yeah, exactly. And like the juror said, okay, who obviously has dabbled in the vices a time or two, knows a thing or two about downers and what Johnny was generally on, okay? And whenever he was on coke or whatever, he testified to a few times, more than a few times, okay? I'd even give it 20 or 30 times he did coke, okay, fine, whatever. Could be more, could be less, but he was always drinking at the time, so that up of coke and then the down of pot and tobacco and whatever the fuck else he was on would have mellowed him out a little bit, but it was still whenever he'd beat me. And then also them mentioning, oh yes, usually the abuse would happen in private. Outside of this, yeah, goofy plane story, which nobody backs up, all of it was in private. Or it was in somebody else's place, and apparently you described the injuries like in Australia, where it should have just left a horrific crime scene, and again, you can't back anything up. There was little puddles of blood everywhere, mostly from where Johnny was trying to hide from you, but no, we're supposed to believe that, oh no, those all the blood that was spilt by me from my leaky vagina and my head that was beat about, that was intermittently cleaned up. Okay, cool.
Drugs.
Right now, as you sit here today, do you stand by your testimony and your accusations against Johnny Depp?
No, she's sitting in front of you. You just mentioned that.
About abuse.
Of course, and I will to my dying day. I know what happened to me. I'm here as a survivor. I, to my dying day, will stand by every word of my testimony.
Why would you do that?
To support her allegations, her attorney showed photos of injuries they said
Okay, now show the other ones that are color corrected.
were caused by.
Oh yes, and remember, that's the one wherever I mentioned, oh yes, I was beat about the face and then there's just a bruise on the arm. That was after so many hits to the head, she lost track and thought she was going to die. Okay, I don't remember if she was getting choked or anything about her neck as well. And there again, yeah, you take a picture of I don't know, a towel rack bumping into your arm or something like that. And then again, yeah, just also show the color corrected pictures from, what is it? The one that is on, I guess, your guys' right hand to the screen there. That was the one that was also a couple of different variations that were shown off in court. So yeah, believe what you will, of course, and don't think for a second, okay, the one on the left as well doesn't have different variations.
Depp. One alleged beating happened in 2015 before Amber appeared on The Late Late Show.
And as you can see, she is just shaken to her very core, and everybody else who's there. All three, I don't know about the one guy in the middle there, but the other two, oh no, Wanda Sykes is a lesbian, so just obligatory James Corden is gay joke. But no, she looks really just beat about the face. But oh, her makeup artist from before that testified and kind of undercut her testimony. And it's like, oh yeah, she has a big sore on her lip. Okay, and how did you cover that up? With red lipstick. Did you have to put anything else on? No, that was good. Oh, okay, cool. Really beat up though.
With James Corden.
Exhibit 16.
Hey, there it is. Speak of the ugh.
A makeup artist saw Amber the day of the alleged incident and said she didn't see any injuries. But
No, but I thought she did, though. And again, that was after numerous beatings and definitely not Botox underneath the eye and then also maybe fillers in the lip. Who knows?
The next day,
she had a discoloration here under both eyes and on the bridge of the nose. And she had what I would call a split lip. If I witness
a nurse.
Hey, that's the nurse, Erin Filati.
Testified she saw Amber's bloody lip.
And she told you that that was a result of the altercation with Mr. Depp, right? Right.
And Amber's sister took the stand and told the story of one fight that she said included Depp hitting her, something Depp denies.
Yeah, and also, you remember the wizard beard Travis McGivern from before this? That was also the story that he was telling. So here we go. There's like 5 different variations of the staircase incident. One of them involves Kate Moss, who also got to testify.
He comes up behind me, strikes me in the back, kind of just somewhere over here. He strikes me in the back. I hear Amber shout, "Don't hit my sister."
Language.
She smacks him, lands one.
Johnny couldn't look less interested in this obviously fake story.
And then he grabbed Amber by the hair with one hand and was whacking her repeatedly in the face with the other.
Which hand had the cast on it, though? Because that would be important. Because also he had the soft cast on at the time with a little bit of plaster at the top and a little bit of plaster at the bottom, but exposed sides. Okay, this was just after the surgery when Amber liberated him from the tip of his finger. I'm using my left hand for the illustrative of it, but yeah, I got the microphone stand right there. But anyways, no, still, that was all that was on there, and then it was wrapped up with a big soft bandage. And then once again, when the surgeon got to take a look at the cast and the splint that was in there, no damage was detected. So did the big club hand hold Amber by the hair, and Johnny was striking her with the left hand? It doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense when you start to break down the facts, now does it?
Mr. Depp, we've talked about this.
Amber's side.
Hey, there's Rottenborn, you fucking salty bitch.
Also played its own snippets of audio. Amber talking to Depp about acts of violence.
Go put your cigarettes out on someone else. You have consequences for your actions. That's it.
Does that talk about Johnny actually doing something, or is that just alluding to something? Oh yeah, right, in Australia she also put a cigarette out on his cheek. Okay, that might be the little spot that you see on his cheek as well. I don't know how much compression is going to be on this, but I can see it on my monitor right now. You can too. It's right there because, I don't know, he was being assaulted in fucking Guantanamo Bay with the amount of torture that he went through. But again, she doesn't say anything specifically about Johnny putting cigarettes out on her. It's more like ashing. Okay, and listen, I grew up with parents who smoked, okay, for a significant amount of my childhood. Father still smokes, mom gave it up decades ago at this point, okay? But still, you're sitting in the back seat, you have your window rolled down a little bit, and dad's smoking, and okay, yeah, you're also on the driver's side too, and then he ashes it out the window. There's a time or two where you might catch some ash, okay? So again, that's not exactly putting your cigarettes out on somebody. And it's awfully rich coming from somebody who actually did that to somebody. Fucking, yeah, Gitmo style.
Shut up, fat ass. A week prior, after you beat the out of me.
Okay, cool. What was the rest of the context of that? After you beat the shit out of me. Huh? Okay, why is there no follow-up on that? Wouldn't you think if you're giving Amber Heard an interview, wouldn't you like to dig in maybe a little bit more on that one audio snippet? No, okay, we'll just show him beating the fuck out of some cabinets because that's violence against Amber Heard, who's just off of camera right there with her Johnny Depp mug. That's his studio, by the way, but maybe we'll get to hear her cunty disposition. That'd be great.
What happened?
Then there was this video.
What did that cabinet ever do to you? Did that cabinet cost you $650 million? God damn it.
Did something happen to you this morning? I don't think so. That's crazy.
Sir, that is a mega pint of wine. You pay some respect to that.
Oh, you're crazy. You're crazy.
Have you drunk this whole thing this morning?
You can hear it. Have you drank this whole thing this morning? What happened this morning, Johnny? Why are you being so angry? I know that I'm videotaping you.
You would agree that you were violent.
Oh no, they're not gonna play the part where she has a change in tone of voice. Oh, that's awfully disingenuous.
In that clip, correct?
Clearly I was having a bad time. Yes.
You didn't react.
This is my sad face.
I did assault a couple of cabinets, but I did not touch Miss Heard.
That is true. That's exactly what that video shows.
You poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
A mega pint?
Why would you say that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, did you hear all the misogyny that was going on in the gallery? They laughed.
I poured myself a large glass of wine.
And remember what Depp said about that fight in Australia when his finger was severed? Amber denied hurting him and said on that trip she was the real victim.
I got raped with a Maker's Mark bottle, which I didn't know was a Maker's Mark bottle until I just seen these pictures right here. And again, look at all those tears.
Amber went on to describe a harrowing incident of
Look at the jury.
Sexual abuse. She testified that Depp assaulted her with a bottle.
But I could just feel this pressure. And I remember that it's just not wanting to move. Because I didn't know if the bottle
Oh, shut up.
that he had inside me was broken.
You would know.
In that courtroom, I am testifying about sexual assault and domestic violence.
How long did it take for you to come up with that story? All right, it was your 5th witness statement in the UK trial, so in 2020. But this allegedly happened in March of 2015. Okay.
Next to a jury, in front of a whole packed courtroom of people who are expressing their vocal support and disdain for me.
Wait, what? I missed that part. Sorry, I just watched the whole trial and listened back to all of the pertinent testimony a couple of different times because I'm a loser and have no life. But even still, I don't remember any vocal support. I remember some giggles from some obviously funny parts in different people's testimony, but vocal support? Oh, right, it's all of those people outside the courtroom, which nobody can hear and nobody sees. Okay.
Amber had told her story.
Sitting here today, Ms.
Now she would be
Yeah, go Camille. It's been a minute. I haven't seen her for a second.
forced to defend it.
Our Chairman Mao look. Such a great jacket. I wonder if she burnt that or she didn't donate it. Fuck, she probably pledged it to Goodwill.
Coming up.
Your lies have been exposed to the world multiple
Boom, and you continue to do that right now.
times, right?
I haven't lied about anything I've been here to say.
That is false, and the jury didn't believe you. But that's alright, you only told the truth. Your truth and somebody's truth. So help you, I don't know, you pray to Satan.
After describing the abuse she says she suffered at the hands of Johnny Depp, Amber Heard then faced his attorney, Camille Vasquez.
It's Vasquez, or if you're Elaine Bredehoff, it's Vasquez. Well, whatever. It can't all be winners.
And things like that.
Vasquez set out to convince jurors they couldn't trust a word that came out of Amber's mouth.
It just had to do very light probing, and immediately she would spurg out like she's 6 years old.
You got physical with Mr. Depp often during your relationship, didn't you?
I had to defend myself as best I could.
You just couldn't control yourself, could you, Miss Heard? Who was the real monster in this relationship, Miss Heard?
Depp's team argued that Amber had a history of being untruthful. Case in point.
The trial.
$7 million in total was donated to, I split it between the ACLU and Children's Hospital of Los
Yeah, did you? Huh? Would you like to get into a back and forth about donation? I use donation and pledge interchangeably. That's nice.
Angeles.
They played a clip from an interview on Dutch TV where she said she had
As RTL Live or Late Night, you put some respect on that name, and you give big ups to those closed captions that are on there. I don't know. I can't read Dutch. Or is that German? That looks German to me.
donated her $7 million divorce settlement to charity. But
it was revealed at trial that you haven't done so yet. Do you think that raised questions as to your credibility with the jury?
No, because I use words interchangeably. Stop being mean to me, Savannah.
Well, I think, look, when you say to someone, I bought a house.
Don't use this analogy. That is a terrible analogy. Again, the whole fire in a crowded theater. terrible debunked analogy. When you buy a house, you don't buy it all at the same time. Yes, you do. You get a fucking mortgage. You pay off the mortgage to the bank. You pay for your house in full with that chunk of money. You own the house. You pay for a mortgage, you stupid bitch. I hope you update your analogy to at least include the facts.
Are you lying? Because you have not paid for it in full at that point? I made a pledge.
Oh, she's so fucking dumb.
And that pledge is made over time by its nature.
You're splitting hairs a little bit there, because when you say I donated, you know that everybody thinks that you've donated it, not that you've pledged it. So
yeah, should have just said pledged. And again, we've been over this 1,000 fucking times, but just to give the little overview, the one-line bit on this, okay? Just fucking own it, okay? Do your little goofy clarification. Okay, yeah, I pledged to do this, but I didn't fulfill it because I had other obligations. And you could get into the semantics about, well, he sued me, but I had all that time. Yeah, but I just wanted to get the fucking tax benefits off of that, okay? I set out my pledges. Just fucking own up to it. Everybody knows your nonsensical fucking response is gonna land like a thud, but, oh God, just responsibility. What's that?
So for the jurors sitting there, do you think they felt like that was you getting caught in a lie?
I don't know, because so much.
Actually, we learned from the interview from the juror, that was exactly what they took away from that. It's like, this bitch is lying, okay? Nobody interchangeably uses pledge and donation. If you donate, is because you give money. There is a lower amount of money in your account, and there is more money in the other person's account after you give the money, after you donate, okay? You can pledge, you can say, yep, that's fine, every year, okay? I'm going to give X amount of money out there. That's great. That's fantastic. That is a good way to offset your losses and your taxes and all that stuff. Tax law is complicated, and that's the way that a lot of people through charitable donations use to write off to offset that kind of stuff. It's complicated, but it works, and it's fine. Literally everybody of a certain level of wealth does it, okay? You're not special, okay, for not doing it or for doing it, so just fucking own it, you dummy.
I feel like so much of the trial was meant to cast
expose your lies. Like, that's exactly what it was supposed to do.
aspersions on who I am as a human, my credibility, to call me a liar in every way you can, and
that
more.
was the trial. It was a credibility contest.
Thank you, Savannah. But now we're going into a hard cut. Great.
Depp's team also painted Amber as an attention seeker, saying she wrote that 2018 op-ed to coincide with the release of Aquaman.
And they
suggested
this was a publicity stunt, a way to raise your profile at a time when these issues were quite relevant.
It was one of those few moments of levity in the trial when I heard it suggested that my op-ed in the Washington Post could potentially boost sales for an international multi-million-dollar superhero franchise movie.
It wasn't to boost the movie, you dumb bitch. It was to boost you, okay? People know it's like, oh, it's the Fish movie, okay? Oh, Jason Momoa is in that. Who else is in that? Oh, Amber Heard, gross. Okay, cool. But, oh, she just wrote this op-ed. Weird timing on all of it, too, okay? Because you had all of these stories, right? Or maybe you needed to add or refine a couple of them out there. Okay, that's fine, whatever. Okay, but you did that over the course of 2 years, and it just so happened to coincide about a week before the release of the movie. Weird timing when people would be like, hey, who's that hot bitch in Aquaman? Oh, okay, what's she been... Okay, that's Amber Heard. Okay, most people don't know who the fuck she is. But then after that, okay, big blockbuster film, which was guaranteed to make money. Nobody really anticipated it would make that much money, but okay, people like Jason Momoa, they don't like you. They were interested in maybe figuring out and seeing if you show your tits anywhere. So they went and looked and figured out that, hey, there's that op-ed that she wrote that's recent. And what's that about? Oh, she was married to Johnny Depp? Oh, cool, good for him. He picked up somebody half his age. Oh, wait, she's a total psychopath. Great, wonderful. That's what that was for. Your star quality wasn't going gonna be boosting Aquaman, not fucking one iota, okay? As much as you'd like to revisionist history this stuff, oh my god, she's amazing. She is really amazing.
Movie that I was starring in. It's the other way around. You know, if anything, we're trying to get more awareness and attention on the issues within the article.
It wasn't a public.
You could have just done that without those fantastical allegations or any allusions to anything, because they didn't even name Johnny.
Publicity stunt or a way to.
It's the opposite, you know.
Depp's lawyers called witnesses to challenge Amber's stories of abuse. One of Depp's friends.
Hey, Steven Duders, you know, he's the guy who had very spicy text message conversations with Johnny Depp. Another man of a very fine, refined sense of humor.
Testified about that fight on a plane when Amber says he kicked her.
And it's your testimony that Mr. Depp didn't kick Amber?
But did she use Amica cream on her back?
I didn't see anything like that.
And again, that's a woman who's been. Oh no, that was after the phone. Okay, this is maybe a couple of days after, maybe a day after, maybe that night. Who really knows? Don't have the metadata on it, but that was the picture of the injury that is there. And again, that's same place, but Johnny Depp is right-handed. So why do all of the injuries tend to happen on the left side of her face? Me wonders.
To counter the photographic evidence of Amber's injuries, Depp's lawyers showed the jury a slew of pictures of the actress looking.
And again, that's after. Was that after breaking the bed frame or something? Where I thought my nose was broken. There's your nose. All right, cool. Other uses for it.
Looking unblemished after the alleged abuse.
Your nose doesn't appear to be injured in any of these pictures, does it, Miss Heard?
Not that you can see.
That's why I'm wearing makeup.
And ice for swelling. Yeah, cool. Tell that to a boxer in a ring. Cool. A cold compress works for a minute. Okay. What was it called? Swellies or E-swell or whatever. The metal gimmick that they put on the mouse underneath there. It just immediately that swelling goes away, right? Okay.
Amber testified that some of the photos Depp's lawyers brought to court were taken days, even weeks after the alleged injuries occurred.
What I learned in that trial is it's never going to be good enough.
Yeah, but if you're taking pictures of injuries that are like weeks later, why are the bruises still red? Why is there still redness around your alleged injury spots? And just, it boggles the mind now, doesn't it? But she only told the truth, guys.
If you have proof, then it was a scheme. It was a hoax.
Now, if you had better proof, if you had like actual proof of anything, then it wouldn't be a scheme and nobody would be alleging that it was a hoax. Okay, we would be on your side. Oh God, it's just what you have and what you're alleging preceded those the photographs. It doesn't line up. It questions anybody's common sense. Okay, even a toddler would realize that shit doesn't line up. So I don't know. Next trial, maybe you can get a panel or a jury of retards. That might be more your speed.
If you don't have proof, it didn't happen.
That's true. That's literally cases. Okay, people have been freed because there's a lack of proof. People don't get charged. People don't have to make up claims if they don't have any proof. How about that?
If you have a bruise, it's fake. If you don't have a bruise, then violence clearly didn't hurt you.
Why didn't she just say this on the stand? She could have saved herself millions of dollars.
If you told people, then
you're trying to preempt the situation. You're trying to lay the groundwork in case the relationship goes sideways so that you can fulfill your prophecy of being a colossal gold digger.
You're hysterical. If you didn't tell anyone, it didn't happen.
Yes.
You also told this jury.
When it came to Amber's most explosive testimony, the sexual assault, Depp's team pointed out the allegations only came up after her divorce. In court.
Yes, exactly. I was so embarrassed because I wasn't shaved that day, so some of the extra wax from the seal on the bottle got caught in my muff.
Court attorney Camille Vasquez pulled no
Vasquez, you idiot.
No punches.
You testified you bled from your vagina as a result of that sexual assault.
It was that time of month.
Yes.
There aren't any medical records reflecting that you sought medical treatment
And that's the moment she realized she fucked up.
for any of these injuries, are there?
I did not seek medical treatment after Australia, no.
Why? Why? You were leaking from the cunt. You were beat about the head. Why? Oh, because it didn't happen. Well, because I didn't tell it. We know, Amber, we know.
Not for the rape?
No, I did not want to tell anyone.
There's no experience like being cross-examined. What was that experience like for you?
Oh, it was fun. I thought I made a new friend.
You know, the scariest, most intimidating thing for anybody.
Especially a liar. But could you imagine being scared? Like, I don't know how tall Amber is. I'd imagine she's, what, 5'6" or 5'7"? Especially in heels. She's probably a fairly imposing figure, okay? If she's not back in the cut, probably thrown off by her, I'll be fair, overwhelming beauty, okay? She was definitely an 8 or some people's 9 out there. That's fine. That's totally fine. We're not trying to, dog anybody, but imagine being scared of like a legitimate, 5'3" fucking Latina fire plug who's just asking you questions and just putting your own words back in front of you. It was terrifying. Yet most people who lie have a big fear of having their lies exposed in real time, especially in front of a courtroom full of Jack Sparrow fans.
Talking about sexual violence is not being believed, being called a liar, or being humiliated.
Oh no, then you shouldn't lie.
Throughout the trial, both sides fought to get additional evidence in front of the jury to bolster their claims.
All right, here's more of that contemporaneous evidence. Oh my God, I was telling about all of the horrific abuse I was telling my therapist for so long. Ugh.
Of it was deemed hearsay under the rules of evidence and declared inadmissible by the judge.
Does anybody remember the judge's name? Because she did a decent job. Ask Karate. Penny to you and me.
Is there one piece of evidence that you wish the jury had seen?
I do. Any sort of injuries that correlate with any of your fucking stories. But and imagine, there's the document from my therapist who was also my friend, and I told her all these things.
That you could point to. You say, this would have made the difference.
Yeah.
What is it?
There's a binder worth of years of notes dating back to 2011 from the very beginning of my relationship.
Oh, there was more damage in 2011 that we didn't know about. What did he violate you with then?
That were taken by my doctor.
Therapist.
Who I was reporting the abuse to.
Any specific instances? I doubt it.
That doctor was Amber's therapist at the time.
Thank you for clarifying that after the fact.
We looked at notes the doctor took during some of their sessions, which showed that as far back as 2012,
Yeah, but she said it was 2011.
Amber was talking about physical abuse. In January of that year, she told her therapist
he hit her, according to Amber, threw her on floor. Yeah, but were both of them naked?
Depp hit her, threw her on the floor. 8 months after that, ripped her nightgown, threw her on bed, and in
All right.
2013, the therapist's notes say he threw her against a wall and threatened to kill her.
Oh my God, why didn't we hear anything about that?
I am talking about what's happening to me in real time when she was taking contemporaneous notes.
Did she note any injuries, though?
Of what was happening.
Amber's lawyers also showed us text messages that were excluded from trial, like this one she sent to another therapist saying,
Okay, this one's new. Johnny did a number on me tonight. Again, can we get better context on this? I'm safe and my support tonight, but I need some real help. Sorry, this is really small for me. Anyways, I called earlier because I thought I had a concussion. I didn't know if I should have called the police. But I have a nurse close to me, and Rocky and her have been here for me. Can I see you tomorrow? Oh, and her nurse. So, Filati, did she mention any of this stuff? Because she was there as well, and why didn't she use these text messages? messages, okay, to corroborate this. It's like, okay, cool. Amber was reaching out to her therapist about different injuries she suffered, apparently, because, okay, cool, is from somebody else, I guess. Okay, 11 a.m. Thursday, or tomorrow, same time, tried to blank you earlier, hope you're okay. Okay, great. But again, and it took her so long to get back to her. It came in next morning? Okay, cool.
Johnny did a number on me. I thought I had a concussion. And this text message she says she sent to her father after that disputed incident on the plane.
Okay, to her father? Okay. I keep not fighting back. He literally kicked me and called me cunt, bitch, whore, I don't know, Amber, in front of everyone on the plane. It's humiliating. Yeah, you sent that to your father, and knowing your father's proclivities, why didn't he kill him? We know he has the capacity to, so, I don't know, it begs the question.
She wrote, he kicked me in front of everyone.
You know why those were not included in there? Because her father wasn't available to testify. Wouldn't even show up. Isn't he dead? I don't know. Ain't he dead? Feel like Spiegel for a minute there. But no, if he can't be asked to testify to the veracity of those, they're hearsay. And again, what does it prove? Okay, her version of the plane story. Cool, there was somebody who was actually on the plane who said that nothing like that ever happened.
I testified I was attacked on that flight, and I was attacked in front of people. And when I got off the plane, sent messages to people about what had happened. I'm angry because this happened. Can you believe he did this and this and this? You know.
Yeah, it just kind of sounds like you're bitching.
And one of the people I reached out to was my father.
Depp's.
Who did nothing about, again, that's a hard, that's just difficult to process, okay? That's hard to believe.
Lawyers say the judge's rulings were fair, and a Depp spokesperson told us it's unfortunate that the defendant and her team are back to repeating, reimagining, and relitigating matters that have already been decided by the court.
No, that's fair. Like I said before, I thought she was a little bit spotty on some of the objections, but when it comes to the evidence, because they also said during this editorial, because again, I guess we didn't get enough from the fucking interview that we need to pad this shit out. Like, what the fuck? There was other evidence not allowed in that Johnny would have wanted, like some of those audio tapes that were out there too, probably some other communications from other people, also probably, corroborating his side of the story, but he didn't need any of that because he was believable. He had the evidence and he had people to back it all up. What did Amber have? Blue eyes and a bunch of different eye flutters and some strange face pulls, whatever.
Amber thinks the case wasn't just decided inside the courtroom. She believes what happened outside made all the difference.
And again, did you see all of those burn the witch signs that were outside, or Amber's a cunt, or whatever? I don't know what else she was alleging. It's crazy, though. But then, just cast your eyes back to that juror interview. We didn't give a fuck about what was going on outside. We just paid attention to the testimony of Johnny and Amber. We looked at the evidence, came to our decision. Great, cool, wonderful. What a monster waving at his fans.
There's a text message where Johnny promises total global humiliation for you.
And he also calls you a cum guzzler. That was hilarious.
Do you feel like that came true?
Kind of. You're still trending weeks and weeks after the trial, so. But unfortunately, that wasn't done by Johnny. Bitch, you played yourself.
I know he promised it. I testified to this. I'm not a good victim, I get it. I'm not a likable
I'll cut you off right there.
victim. I'm not a perfect victim. I get it. I'm not a saint.
No, you're not even, passable. If you could have just shut your fucking yap, you could have, I don't know, found somebody to keep around for longer than a couple of years before they wore tired of your nonsense.
I'm not asking anyone to like me, but when I testified, I asked the jury to just see me.
And then in order to clarify it, you would just stare directly at them until they stopped taking note of her just dead behind the eyes expression. What a fucking crazy bitch.
As human and hear his own words which is a promise to do this, a promise to humiliate me, a promise to ruin me. It feels as though he has.
Again, what did Johnny do? Because you're just projecting all of this fucking nonsense onto him, like you've done throughout your entire the entire relationship that you've had, which you've continued to try to, to further, but it's kind of landing on dead ears.
As the trial unfolded inside that Virginia courtroom, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp were being judged in the court of public opinion.
This Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing.
Who the fuck is this cretin?
Has been going on for a little bit now, and it's gotten pretty wild.
Though both stars had their supporters on social media, there is no question that the internet sided against Amber.
I think she might be the most twisted woman in the world. It's scary. From Holly Grew 32 on TikTok. You could probably get some funnier TikToks than that, but yeah, no. Most twisted? Nah, she's a pretty accurate representation of modern women. She's just out there on Front Street right now, so just keep that in mind, fellas.
Amber Heard.
Ew, this is so cringe.
I agree, but not for the reasons that you lay out.
Guilty.
I mean, this was a sort of medieval...
Who the fuck is this self-hair cutter?
...orgy of hatred.
Michelle Goldberg is an opinion column.
Oh, she was this is going to be a fucking obscure poll, but did you guys... Okay, literally very obscure. She was there with Michael Eric Dyson debating Stephen Fry and Jordan Peterson at a Monk debate a couple of years ago. Go back and watch that. She adds very little, as she's a big feminist and huge Black Lives Matter supporter. They were supposed to be... what was the debate topic? It is something about cancel culture and free speech, but it ended up just devolving into a big race battle. Oh my god, why are they asking her? She's so uncredible. Okay, it's incredible that they're asking somebody this uncredible.
For the New York Times.
I think it was, people really enjoyed joining in. That's, often the case with mob behavior, and I think that's essentially what this was. It was kind of, misogynist mob behavior.
Misogyny. No, literally the jury did nothing with that. And again, what are you seeing here with these social media posts? It's evidence. It's trial footage. Okay, it's nothing that Amber isn't saying or doing. Miss Heard decided for an innocent look today. Had her hair down. Should have looked like a woman. Should have looked like she does in this interview. It's a little bit better than, yeah, again, like the fucking Ava Braun Nazi youth look.
Online, people picked apart Amber's every move. Videos ridiculed her facial expressions.
Yeah, and I'm going to be watching a couple of videos from the behavior panel this evening while I'm having dinner, so don't even worry about it.
And accused her of faking emotion on the stand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're crying so hard, why do you gotta wipe your eyebrows? It doesn't make any sense.
This is just a fake crying train wreck you can't look away from.
Yeah, that's true. And guess what? The jury seen it in real time, feet away. What would a couple of posts other than trigger? It's like, that sure is weird if they were even looking at it. Which, again, if you can believe the juror, played no fucking part in it. It's just fun to mock.
Johnny, you hit me. You hit me.
This is pretty accurate. Would you like to be Mira in the next Aquaman film?
It was really striking to me to see.
Again, I guess, like, Amber Heard put on another 50 pounds and got a really shitty Beatles wig.
See all of these people engaging in this trend of reenacting her testimony.
And I was walking out of...
What does that have to do with it? Oh my god, I think I'm probably just going to speed this up because this is retarded, okay? So, oh god. Again, I'll link to this thanks to the brother who posted this stuff, but... What is this? This isn't Amber. This is just, oh my god, social media is so mean. We should take it off so only mass media can cover trials from now on. Get fucked. Okay, well, it was a couple of minutes of cutting ahead, but it was totally worth it because now we're going to get into the poop story, which, why not?
Denied it, but that didn't stop the internet from branding her with a viral nickname.
Well, you shouldn't have shit on a bed, stupid.
I saw what was happening to me in real time.
You shouldn't have, though, because you were forbid for going on social media. Looks like at least somebody in that courtroom wasn't paying attention to what the judge says. And imagine that. It's the narcissist.
I don't care what one thinks about me.
Oh, I beg to differ.
Or what judgments you want to make about what happened in the privacy of my own home and my...
Actually, 7 people decided what was going on behind closed doors. You were responsible for, to the tune of $10.35 million. And if it was actually up to the jury and there wasn't a cap on punitive damages, about $15 million. So, yeah, no, I don't care what other people have to say. Well, there were 7 people who you have to respect on this one. So, oh well, hold this L if you got room in your purse next to your turds and your dog.
My marriage behind closed doors. I don't presume the average person should know those things, and so I don't take it personally. But even somebody who is sure I'm deserving of all this hate and
I don't hate you. I just find you hilarious, actually. A little bit despicable, a little bit self-serving with your... well, I guess you're just trying to relitigate this case in the media. Mass media. You can't win on social media because there's, you know, like actual people out there making some funny content and just tearing apart all of your lies in real time. But no, don't worry. The people at NBC will be more than willing to put this fluff out there. I'm seeing a lot less interaction with Savannah, okay? So unless in the next couple of minutes, because I'm sure they probably got to cut to another commercial break, which I've cut out 2 or 3 so far, and then yeah, just that tedious Michelle Goldberg nonsense. Again, you aren't doing a lot of the heavy lifting here, even though it's your story and you're the only person who can kind of corroborate it. You're not doing any of the work here. It's almost sad, almost.
vitriol. Even if you think that I'm lying, you still couldn't look me in the eye and tell me that you think on social media there's been a fair representation.
It's been accurate. The world doesn't owe you fair. The world isn't fair. You put out dumb shit like that and people are gonna fucking laugh at you.
Cannot tell me that you think that this has been fair.
If Amber was the villain, then Johnny Depp was often portrayed as the hero.
Well, he was kind of the victim, so just reverse the sexes here, okay? If this was Jessica Depp and that was Adam Hurd, okay? Do you think that there would be some sympathetic fucking interview, okay? Or there'd be sad music underneath these TikToks that are being played right now? Oh my god, Johnny Depp's being told that he's beautiful and he's totally fine in this situation. Just do a little mental exercise and it just goes to show you how fucking nonsensical this shit is. I thought this would be fun. This is just painful.
He's such a stud.
People online found his grasp of the law charming.
Yeah, because they were making some retarded objections, and he's like, oh, okay, fine, whatever. And this was the time when the judge was a little bit more shaky when it came to her rulings, because Amber Heard's side was getting away with the, oh, what if Eddie doesn't make a leading kind of objection, so whatever.
That's hearsay, I guess.
And again, yeah, no, it got one chuckle in the courtroom. And again, I don't remember the Wii music being played in the court, but again, I could go back and listen to some testimony.
I'm learning.
And testimony about his drinking only seemed to endear him more to his digital fans.
Yeah, when you make stupid comments like a mega pint, yeah, that is meme worthy. If you don't understand, well, you're in media, I get it, I fucking get it.
You poured yourself a mega pint of red wine.
That bitch, that's red flags. I don't even care if she is just posting a meme out there. If she even has access to a wine glass like that, that is cats for life, bitch.
Correct?
A mega pint.
During the 6-week trial, jurors weren't sequestered. They spent...
Yeah, exactly. Just goes to show you what the judge thought of the situation, realized that her courtroom was fine and that the jurors were in a no high-risk situation. Could have changed in an instant. Amber Heard's side could have called for a sequestration order to be entered at any time, but because she lost, now she's starting to raise the that they were such a problem. And again, I'm not seeing any of these evil signs against Amber Heard as much as she likes to point it out. But again, this is all about people are mean to me on the internet. Welcome to the fucking internet, lady. Jesus Christ.
Spent nights and weekends at home with their phones.
I think a majority of this trial was played out outside of a courtroom.
It wasn't. You can keep telling us this lie, but we heard from the jurors, and we're probably going to hear from a couple more who are going to corroborate the story of the first juror who was out there. It didn't play out for anybody important to the fucking trial outside of the courtroom. They couldn't have cared less, and you can't care anymore.
Unfortunately, I think vast majority of this trial was played out on social media. And I think that this trial is an example of that gone haywire, gone amok. And the jury...
You just wanted to tell your lies in darkness. You just wanted to get away with the same type of nonsense that the Sun in the UK was allowed to. You probably didn't want a jury. You probably just wanted some fucking activist judge up there on a panel just seeing, oh, they're a pretty blonde girl. Oh, yeah, we just need to go ahead and side with her. And then the old man who's just about 60. What are you doing with a girl that age? Oh, no, he shouldn't be there. Obviously, he hit her. I don't care about any of the other evidence that's there. That's what you wanted. You didn't want all of this shit on fucking Front Street. So if the exact same verdict would have came out at the end of the day, you could spin it that, oh my God, you should have seen what was going on in the courtroom. It was so treacherous and terrible. They put this out there because they knew Johnny Depp's side, okay? It wasn't even like they were advocating for cameras in the courtroom, okay? There was a motion that was put forward by Amber Heard's side on this one, okay? They wanted all media takedown. They wanted all of this to be covered in absolute darkness, okay? They only wanted people in the gallery. And then imagine if this wasn't covered, okay? There would be more crazy people, more people who would be more likely to outburst because they couldn't have their fix. They wouldn't be able to see what was going on during this 6-week-long trial, okay? The crazy lady probably would have been there with her kid every other fucking day. But even still, okay, you would have had it set up, okay, just like you did with all of your other allegations. You had all of your hearsay testimony already laid out back in 2011 about what went on, okay? And we see that it's always just gonna suit you, okay? You have a way to just snake through whatever situation that you want. It's amazing, and you continue to get away with it. But again, she's gotten away with it because blonde, blue eyes, white girl, pretty girl. There is absolutely privilege that's out there. It's pretty privilege. She's finally got to a point in her life where people are starting to check her on this because it's a 3 in front of that 6 and not a 2 in front of that 6. You can't get away with it forever, okay? Johnny Depp, in one of those text messages, it might have been the global humiliation text, which you probably don't even know all of it, and it's obviously very true. But she's going to hit the wall hard. The wall doesn't happen first physically. The wall happens up here, and she's starting to realize that. And your little fucking word tricks that used to work on especially a bunch of those opportunistic airheads in Los Angeles ain't working anymore because, things aren't as tight and firm as they used to be.
The jury's not immune to that.
You think the jury saw it?
How could they not? I think even the most well-intentioned juror.
Yeah, and again, she's done this a couple of different times. Oh, I don't want to call anybody a liar specifically because I learned that that's a defamatory. But now, I'll just make all of these assertions outside the fact. And again, go back to what the interview from the juror said, okay? Nothing from the outside world played a factor in our decisions. We just don't like you, Amber, okay? Just fucking come to grips with that. You read that interview. But again, this one was recorded and edited long before that other interview came out. It's just so nice, the timing, that it undercuts it, and it's really great.
It would have been impossible to avoid this.
Depp's attorneys reject the notion that social media influenced the jury in any way. They say they believe jurors followed the judge's instructions to not read about the case.
Yeah, it's almost like they know what's going on. It's almost like one side is centered and grounded in reality, and one side is, just being driven by a crazy lady.
They said social media wasn't the problem. Amber was.
Based.
The Depp lawyer called your testimony the performance of a lifetime and said you were acting. What do you say to that?
Oh, here we go. Everybody strap in. You wait. This is the one. Okay, let's see if there's any follow-up to this. This was the big takeaway from the second little snippet that's out there. So let's let this roll.
Says the lawyer for the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers. I'm the performer. I had
Bitch, you played a fish.
listened to weeks of testimony insinuating that, or saying quite directly that,
Fucking spit it out.
you know, I'm a terrible actress.
True.
So I'm a bit confused how I could be both.
No, it's actually pretty easy to explain. Okay. Johnny Depp is a likable, charismatic, honest individual. You can't muster a tear to save your fucking life.
After 6 weeks of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard slugging it out in court, the case went to the jury.
It's the day of the verdict. You come into the courtroom. Were you feeling confident?
Shouldn't trying to figure a way how to polish this turd and make it into a diamond, but and guess what? Just like every other turd that she has, it ended up landing flat on the fucking bed. And we already know how this is gonna work out. We're almost done, folks. Oh, Jesus.
That's a great question.
You thought that you should have. You thought you had all the facts on your side. You had a mountain of evidence, but you're a shitty actress.
I wish I could say yes to that. I want to say yes to you, but it
Just say it then, goddamn. Fucking spit it out.
wouldn't be true.
Lol, you suck.
Question. The statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp.
Why couldn't she cry there? Because they knew that she was going to end up getting fucking buried in financial ruin. Oh, well.
Answer. Yes.
Ah.
Court is adjourned. Thank you.
In the end, the jury believed Johnny Depp, awarding him more than $10 million in damages.
Well, that's not true, but I guess, you know what, hey, you're speaking to a normie 60-plus-year-old fucking audience here, so, again, for clarification's sake, it ended up, at the end of the day, okay, with the counterclaim that she won, the $2 million there, at the end of the day, $8.35 million net positive for the Depp side, okay, and then probably like 10 to 30% to the lawyers who deserve every nickel of that. They weren't all great, but they were incredibly competent, more so than anybody in that picture. Because you got, yeah, my neck is itchy, and I like to object to my own questions, and Rottenborn, who's like, this fucking sunk my career, god damn it, and then Elaine, who's, I don't know, just trying to get Frisky's recipes.
Amber won a single defamation claim in her countersuit and was awarded $2 million.
There's no polite way to say it.
You lost.
The jury looked at the evidence you presented. They listened to your testimony, and they did not believe you. They thought you were lying.
Get wrecked.
How could... I'll put it this way.
Johnny's a charming man, and nobody believes a liberal white woman. Oh, my fucking oath.
How could they make a judgment? How could they not come to that conclusion? They had sat in that...
And watched the evidence, listened to the testimony, and came to a conclusion based on all of that stuff. How could they possibly come to a different decision? Amber, for the first time, we agree.
In those seats and heard over 3 weeks of non-stop, relentless testimony from paid employees.
They didn't care a single fuck about any of that stuff. And you also brought paid employees and people who don't like you anymore, which I don't know why you thought that would bolster your claims, but here we are.
And towards the end of the trial, randos.
Kate Moss, rando.
As I say.
Former high-ranking official at TMZ Rando, a guy who founded and created the Hicksville Trailer Department. Rando, Trailer Department, Trailer Retreat, something like that. The really fancy area. It's been a long video, and this was first day shit, so Amber, you should know better, sweetheart.
So you don't blame the jury?
I don't blame them. It wasn't, I don't blame them. I actually understand. He's a beloved character, and people feel they know him. He's a fantastic actor.
Oh my god. Okay, listen. I don't know, again, like, the editing hasn't gotten any better from the snippets, okay? It's still fucking chopped up with a cleaver, which has been used for a decade and a half already. But even still, my god, you could see how relentless an argument with this cunt could possibly be. I've been recording a cunter under 2 hours already, okay? And I'm done with her already, but she is still rip-raring to go to fight to her dying day that my truth is the whole truth and nothing but the truth, and everybody, they can just come to whatever conclusion they want, but then I'll just continue to berate them into eternity for coming to the wrong conclusion, even though they have the right to listen to their own conclusion, but they were influenced by outside sources, and everybody hates me. This isn't helping.
Their job is to not be dazzled by that.
Again, how could they, after listening to 3.5 weeks of testimony about how I was a non-credible person, not to believe a word that came out of my mouth?
You could have got on the stand and been just even remotely credible. That would have helped, okay? That would have shattered the narrative, because it's still, at the end of the day, a feminine-centric social order. The word of a woman carries immense amount of weight, okay? If you were simply likable, if you were simply not emoting like a fucking android, you would have won, but you couldn't, 'cause you're bad.
I'm a hysterical woman. I'm a
True.
crazy woman.
Yes.
I can't be trusted.
Yeah, again, why didn't you just start your testimony with this? I completely agree with all of it.
Over and over again.
Johnny Depp was quick to celebrate his victory in a statement.
Not really. Well, actually, okay, in a statement that he released. I don't know, did Amber have her prepackaged statement released at the same time? Which one came out first? Because they were both released within about seconds or minutes, but he wasn't at the courtroom. Amber took the L in person, which we're all thankful for.
Statement that read in part, "From the very beginning, the goal of bringing this case was to reveal the truth, regardless of the outcome."
All of his statements, both of them, like there's a bunch of them. 2 statements post this. They've been tremendous. They're the greatest statements I've ever read. They're perfect. I love them both a lot. Okay, for the content that's in them, the contents or the context that it's addressing, and the wording that's in it. It's all perfect. It's not self-serving. It's honest. It's thankful, and it's time for him to move on. Unlike Amber, please tell him. Please tell the world. Tell the world, Amber, that you still love Johnny Depp. I'm still waiting for that.
Adding, "The jury gave me my life back. I am truly humbled."
When I asked his lawyers, why do you think you won? The answer I got was, because she never took responsibility for anything she did.
And this self-serving interview has not broken that narrative 1 fucking ounce.
In the marriage. And as we're sitting here and I watched your cross-examination, there's an answer for everything. Do you feel you should...
Merch. No, anyways, this is, yeah, we've been over this as well. But yeah, no, we'll just let it run out. I'm getting very aggravated with this. She is relentless. Okay, she will continue to... I thought that maybe this might be the final interview that she does. I imagine she probably has a couple more already lined up. I'm sure that there's some. I should probably get on that H3 podcast, because I hear he's probably simping for her. Who knows?
You should have owned up to more of your own bad behavior that was revealed in court.
I'm glad, actually, you asked me that.
Oh, God, I'm sure you are, because, yeah, we already know where she's going. Yeah, it was bad in response to everything that Johnny did, because he was the aggressor and I was just defending myself. Ugh.
Because, there is an answer for these things you say. I said this on the stand. you hear my voice in those audio tapes, it's not the voice of me now. That's not who I am now.
Bitch, what the fuck? That is you on those tapes at the time. And this is addressing a situation that happened during that time. Who gives a fuck who you are right now, okay? You were a cunt back then. Now you're just a lying cunt right now. Fucking Christ, I'm so done with this.
I did do and say horrible, regrettable things throughout my relationship. I behaved in horrible, almost unrecognizable to myself ways. I have so much regret.
On the first day of the trial, you issued a statement, and part of the statement said, "I still have love for Johnny."
Why are you wiping away nothing?
Yes.
Is that still true?
Yes.
God, she's so quick on that. Do you still love him? Yes, I do. Oh my God, please pay attention to me.
After everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love him. I loved him with all my heart.
No, you said you love him. Don't be switching up tenses, okay? You like to do that with a lot of your testimony.
And I tried the best I could to make a deeply broken relationship work. And
I'd still make it work if Johnny would just give me a chance.
I couldn't.
Amber Heard says she intends to appeal her case.
She ain't got the money for it. Get fucked.
And she's concerned her defeat may be a setback for other women.
Yeah, other liars. Thank God.
I hope this hasn't, had the chilling effect that I worry it may have on other people.
I hope it does. I pray it does.
I worry about that. But if I can look you in the eye, Savannah, and say I'm still here, and maybe that serves to balance out some of the very, very real fear others may have about coming forward or speaking out.
How do you see your...
God, that was fucking belabored. Jesus fucking Christ. And again, it's like, oh my God, this sends such a bad message to all the other survivors of domestic violence out there. No, it doesn't. All it does is just say, have a credible fucking story. Don't be making up fantastical claims, and you will be believed. Exactly. Look at what Johnny Depp did. He was a victim. He ended up winning at the end of the day. His abuser was held accountable. Fucking Christ.
Your future now? Do you think you'll act again?
I get to be a mom.
Oh God! Again, F's in the chat for that poor kid. Single mom who's Amber Heard. Oof.
I get to be a mom, like, full time.
One day you may want to tell your daughter about this, or have to tell your daughter about everything that you...
Mom, weren't you famous once? I thought I seen your picture on a movie poster on a streaming service in 2030, whatever the fuck they're going to be called. Who knows? But now all I see is your name on a name tag, and it also has Wendy's on there. So what's the deal with that?
You've gone through. What would you tell her about what happened here and what this experience has meant?
Oh, the kid will be able to connect the dots on that. Don't even worry about it.
I think no matter what, it will mean something.
That's a fucking odd way to answer that question. Yeah, the kid'll know, and it'll mean something, because I'm a different person now. Oh, really?
I did the right thing. I did everything I could to stand up for myself and the truth.
Except for tell it.
I look forward to living my life, and I have a long one. I hope.
Yeah, so do I. I don't hold any ill will against her, even though it's just fun as fuck to mock her. But even still, is she going to have a career in Hollywood? There's a simp born every day. So, yeah, no, she'll get a bit role somewhere, and maybe she'll get back to the heights of being, I don't know, fourth on the bill of some fucking failure of a Hollywood blockbuster, some shit like that. And yeah, I hope she lives until she's 90, or even longer than that. Who gives a fuck, okay? Just... nobody cares anymore. And yeah, I'm just going to move on from this. You're going to continue to stump on this for literally ever. There's another court case that Johnny's a part of. It's a part of that Allegedly, he threw a punch against somebody on a set somewhere for City of Lies or some shit like that. And then the people who are corroborating Johnny's side of the story is fucking amazing. She's gonna have a statement after that one, okay? Imagine, just imagine if that case goes in favor of, it's a guy who's brought the case against Johnny, okay? Imagine if that case goes against Johnny. Camille Vasquez is representing Johnny in that case as well. Don't know if it's televised or anything like that, and I think it's supposed to start up at the end of the month or the end of next month. It's something like that. But imagine, yeah, if the guy ends up winning that case there, oh my God, Amber's going to be out in full force. Oh, the judiciary is so prejudiced against women. We're not safe, and my story needs to be believed. And here, take a look at all of my evidence. Oh, we got a couple of seconds. It's got to be close here. I know that there's a bumper at the end of this, so let's just see.
In front of me. And I will continue to walk through this with my chin up.
Yeah, to be there and, I don't know, not hit by anybody. I don't want Lester Holt on my screen. I'd rather just have sad, upset, confused Amber Heard. That's great. Yeah, that took for fucking ever. This is far and away the longest video I've ever had out there. But yeah, no, it was good. It was nothing that we hadn't seen in the previous 3 snippets, if I'm being completely honest, outside of some weird interjections by a New York Times columnist, Michelle Goldberg, like that fucking worthless sack of shit. But even still, yeah, no, Amber, you didn't do yourself any favor with this interview. Whatever you hoped would be accomplished by it, no way in hell does anybody believe you now, okay? Again, this is just going to galvanize the two positions, okay? The people who think that you're a liar, and we'd like to call them the overwhelming majority. And then on the other side, you might have some sympathetic people, some boomers out there in the wild who is like, well, if you won one of the claims, that would be fine. Then I guess maybe you were telling the truth, and maybe we don't know all of the stories after all. And what is that about the UK? You won in that case? I should be able to go look that up at my local library. Until you realize that, oh, it was the son against Johnny Depp. And what did she accomplish in that? Oh, she testified behind closed doors, and you can see some of her transcripts that are out there. But again, that's delving in too far. But again, where's Johnny in all of this stuff? He's out playing with Jeff Beck, recording a new album and some shit like that. He's actually moved on with his life. As opposed to Amber Heard, who just wants Johnny to leave her alone. Oh my God, why won't the social media pressure stop? Because you keep doing cringeworthy shit like this for people like myself who take apart this stuff with absolute glee. Okay, I'm about done with Amber for the time being, so please, for the love of God, take the fucking weekend off so I don't have to look at your dumb, confused, angry, Miley Cyrus scrunchy face for just a little while, okay? Can we agree on that? Cool, great, love you, babe. With all of that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.